Imagine for a second a cult, but not just any cult, the worst kind of cult. One that's all around you, normalized, woven into the very fabric of society. A cult where violence and exploitation are not only accepted, but celebrated. This cult has a name. It's called carnism. Carnism is the belief system that justifies eating animals. It's a violent ideology that convinces people that some lives are less valuable, that we have the right to kill and exploit sentient beings. And like all cults, it hides its true nature behind layers of tradition, culture, and denial. It's the worst kind of cult because it's hidden in plain sight, deeply woven into our traditions. Think about it. We have entire holidays centered around the ritual slaughter of animals. Thanksgiving, Eid, Christmas. These, just a few of the traditions, revolve around feasting on a specific corpse. We gather around a table and carve into the flesh of an innocent being, and we call it a celebration. This is carnism at its core. Every year, millions of turkeys are slaughtered for Thanksgiving, and they're not just any turkeys. They are docile, gentle animals, bred to be submissive, killed simply because it's a tradition. During Eid, we call it a sacrifice, as though offering up the life of an innocent lamb or goat makes the ritual sacred. But what are we sacrificing? Really, it's not like our own lives. It's not like it's our own blood. It's the life of a being that has done nothing but exist peacefully. And these animals, they're docile, innocent, they trust us. Cows, sheep, pigs, chickens, these creatures aren't violent. They're not predators. They live their lives peacefully, yet we subject them to unspeakable violence. But it's not just the slaughter that defines this cult. It's how we control them from the moment they're born to the moment they die. Think about it. We manipulate their genetics to make them grow faster, to produce more milk, to lay more eggs. We force them to reproduce, artificially inseminating them, raping them, over and over again, just to take their offspring, to take what belongs to their babies. These animals are bred into a life of suffering from the moment they are conceived. They are born into this cult, carnism, and they never have a chance to escape. We control their bodies, their reproduction, their lives. In the dairy industry, female cows are forced to give birth only to then have their babies ripped away from them. They cry for days, mourning the loss of their calf, who is usually taken away to be slaughtered for veal. And this process? Well, it's repeated over and over again until their bodies give out. And then they're slaughtered when they can no longer produce enough milk. This is the worst kind of cult because it's built on absolute domination. We force these animals into existence, we control their every movement, and we take everything from them. Their milk, their eggs, their babies, their lives. We genetically alter them to suit our needs, turning them into nothing more than products. Their individuality, their right to live, is erased from the moment they're born. And for what? For a moment of taste? For tradition? For convenience? Can you imagine anything more twisted? These animals are docile, innocent, and we've turned them into slaves, into a system that exploits their very existence. And the worst part is that people justify it. They believe that it's normal, that it's their right, that this violence is somehow natural. We've created an entire industry that profits from the manipulation and suffering of the innocent. And just like any cult, The followers believe it's justified. They believe they have domination, pure dominion over these beings. They convince themselves that they need to eat them, that it's part of the natural order. But that's a lie that's been passed down for generations. It's the worst kind of cult because it's normalized. No one even questions it. We sit around tables with our families, feasting on the flesh of animals who never had a chance. And we call it tradition. But in any other context, it would be seen for what it really is: barbarism. Imagine if another species did to us what we do to animals. Imagine if we were the ones whose bodies were controlled, whose babies were stolen, whose lives were taken without mercy. That's what we do to these animals every single day. This belief system, carnism, is not just about food. It's about domination, control, and exploitation. It's a reflection of a deeper problem in our society. The way we treat animals is linked to the way we treat each other. The violence we inflict on the most vulnerable beings on this planet becomes the foundation for the violence we inflict on each other, whether it's war, domestic abuse, or systemic oppression. Carnism teaches us that it's acceptable to harm those who are weaker. It desensitizes us to suffering. It teaches us to disconnect, to justify cruelty, and to turn a blind eye to violence. And that mindset doesn't stay confined to how we treat animals. It spills over into how we treat each other. But it doesn't have to be this way. We can choose compassion, empathy, and peace. We can dismantle the cult that is carnism, not just for the animals, but for ourselves. We can create a world where violence is no longer normalized, where domination is no longer accepted. Every day, we have the power to break free from this system. So the question is, will you continue to worship at the altar of violence? Or will you break free and stand with those who refuse to be part of carnism, the worst cult this world has ever known?